and in those conditions, some of their big lads, Taylor, Busquet, they were gassed completely.
Right.
Massive respect to the effort that was put in by Remy Casti for the Catalans. I thought he was outstanding in this game on their side of things, just not quite good enough on his own to organise everything, because there was holes defensively, there was holes in attack. For Wakefield, Bill Tupou just continues to be quite the wrecking ball, quite a machine out there. You know, that try he scored, running, sort of fending people off at will, was quite impressive. So there's been a bit of a spring in that side on that edge from him coming back into things. And I like the player Max Jarrett. He seems to pop up in the right positions more often than not.
Yeah. You can see why he's been linked with a move away, can't you?
More so, it was just the gritty teamwork of that forward unit, I suppose. Fafita aside, who, did you notice, Chris Campbell couldn't remember which Fafita he was. I kept calling him Andrew whole game, which was funny. Fafita aside, who was a bit of an outlaw to the unit, but I think that's what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, so better go in and cause mayhem, isn't he?
The rest of them worked really tough as a unit, and I think that's probably what kind of just about toughed them through that second half, to be completely honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So what did the stats tell us on this one?
Well, for only the second time this year, a team has won after making less than 1,000 metres. The other time was against Catalans as well. That was in round 1, the Wigan Warriors. With an extra break, 0.9 metres per carry better game, 304 more metres, you'd be expecting a win from the home side, especially when you factor in a 9-5 penalty count in their favour. 3 more errors though, and 3% worse team tackle success were the levelling factors, with the game failing to end all square because of that controversial misconversion. A line on that, it wouldn't have made a jot of difference if it was a draw. In terms of the Catalan league position, because their points difference is such over St Helens that basically they've got
that extra point.
So the point was on the table almost. Regardless,
it could be worse.
They might have then had an opportunity to, of course, kick a drop goal to win the game. But based on the drop goal,
they were going for drop goals early doors, though.
Well, Lucas Albert went for a drop goal when they were 2 points behind. I think he thought it was Greg Inglis.
Yeah, I think he thought that he thought that the conversion had been good,
or he just lost count of the score. But Greg Inglis can do it, then Lucas Albert can do it.
The next Greg Inglis. There you go. Individually, who stood out for us on both sides then?
Well, Bill Tupou, I mentioned, 1 try, 5 tackle busts, 119 metres. On his outside, Craig Hall. Now, his try just shows why Morgan Escaré has not progressed, has not stepped on. When he makes those sort of flaps for the ball, and doesn't actually make sure he secures the ball, sometimes if he can pick them up, he'll end up running through the whole team and scoring and look amazing. But he's not that player this year.
No.
And he hasn't improved, he hasn't learned, he hasn't developed game awareness and that little bit extra toughness in those scenarios. But anyway, Craig Hall, from the big assist from Morgan Escaré, but 1 try assist, 109 metres. Scott Moore, 2 try assists and 101 metres. David Fafita, and didn't get sent off or sin-binned, or even there wasn't really even a tackle he committed that should have been sent off or sin-binned for in this one, which could have been sin-binned last week, of course. Remarkable. David Fafita, 108 metres. Justin Horro for Catalan was quite decent, probably the only consistently fit looking forward in their pack. Didn't look too gassed. A try, 155 metres for him.
To be fair, mate, it was fucking red.
Oh, no, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But they're professional sportsmen. Dave Taylor with a try, 6 tackle busts, 147 metres, 3 clean breaks, 5 successful offloads, was able to do a lot when he was on the pitch.
Not bad for having played shit. That's it.
Really, who said he played shit?
We'll get there.
Oh.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Carry on.
He just looked too tired too often, and then tried to take over the game in the last 5 minutes and did stupid stuff.
I just think the Catalan fans expect him to do absolutely everything.
Well, he did that try he scored was doing absolutely everything, wasn't it? How many second rowers do that? Although, what was he doing? Putting the ball out to the referee. Surely that would have warranted a charge, but whatever. Jason Battieri, 137 metres.
It's refreshing to hear somebody pronouncing Battieri as well, by the way. I get so bored of hearing. I know there's an I in it, and they will go Baitieri, and Thank you for saying Jason Battieri.
Anyway, Jason Battieri, he really plays above his size, doesn't he, in that pack? It's,
I rate him.
It was an impressive effort to see from him this week. Remy Castille, like I said, I thought he was immense. 107 metres on the stats, but I thought he brought a lot more when he was on the field to just those numbers. I was really impressed with the attitude of Castille. Okay,
Wakey White got in touch. He said, great win for Trinity. A little indiscipline perhaps, but some great individual efforts to take the win. Penalties, rain, and Catalan got wet. Very good. Alan Walker said it was total crap and Marwan thinks he gets robbed. A good try disallowed, clear goal wiped out, DeCosta gets better, Lucas and leg of lamb in the halves did well, the fat touchy did not, 9+3 French. How many officials need spec savers? Puted all through the mincer, hashtag slaughterhouse visit. Not happy, not a happy man.
No, he never is he, when they lose?
No, not at all. Okay, Tyler Casfan. The Fat Not Fit Brigade will have seen this as a game where they can get back on track after recent defeats, but they didn't allow for great team spirit and work rate of a Wakey side that more than deserve their place in the top 8.
Yeah, and congratulations to Wakefield and all their supporters. Yeah. Some of the videos that were coming out of the North Standers was really entertaining.
Yeah.
After seeing a plethora of Ryan's photos from the beach,
right,
which were kind of making me a bit depressed because the weather wasn't quite so sunny here last week, was it? So it's going to be this week. And the lads on tour sort of stuff, all that sort of fun antics in the build-up. Then the videos they put sort of late on in the game, after the game when they won and that sort of stuff. Really great to see. That was nice. I'm not just saying it to get Wakefield fans back on side because...
We like Wakefield fans.
Yeah.
We've got nothing against them. We'll put a few up next season when they've got nowhere to play. Okay, Sunday afternoon then. First game of the afternoon saw Huddersfield taking on St Helens. It was Rick Stone's first match in charge of the Giants and it ended in defeat, 34 points to 18. The capitulation in favour of St Helens. A lot of rumblings on social media from the Giants about Joe Cobb. I'll take that with a pinch of salt. And St Helens continue to hunt down this top 4 mark.
I'd have bigger issues with people like Danny Brough kicking the ball straight into Adam Swift's hands and that sort of stuff.
It's really good to see the hound dog go 100 metres, isn't it? Liked it. It's Saints that just seem to have found a way. Now, I don't know a tremendous amount about this one. Their performance might have been more scintillating than their other week's previous wins have been. But they're finding a way to win games and they're finding a way to get over the top of teams now. So, if I was in Catalan's position, I would be genuinely looking back over my shoulder a little bit at this point.
It certainly helped them having Luke Walsh back because he was pulling the strings pretty well in this game and it meant they had a half back which they haven't had for a while. On top of that, when you get good performances from mediocre players like Jack Owens, then you're having a good day, really, and that complements some of the good, all the good players that they've got at Saints. There's particularly that front row that we always talk about. For the Giants, they just make too many mistakes. They push too many balls that don't come off, and maybe they try and score too many good tries or whatever. When just give the ball to Jerry and let him run.
Which they seem to have done, given the number of meters he made in the game.
Yeah, and it wasn't quite enough, was it? I suppose because they gave away a few chances. Did you see the highlights of this one?
I haven't, to be honest.
Tom Simon's try. You want to check that out?
Right.
It was ridiculous. One of the tries of the round, I would say. The ball went all over the show from the Huddersfield players. A lot, like quite a few people involved, quite a few late passes or offloads, that sort of stuff, and he ended up just barging over close to the line. It was an entertaining looking try to watch, but the game started pretty bad. Jake kind of kicked the first kick-off out on the full, and I guess from there it just was a specimen of what Huddersfield are this year. They just make naff mistakes. There's naff execution of stuff. It's just what happens to them this year, and that's kind of what happened in the end, I think.
Yeah. And I think the Rick Stone project is going to be something that takes shape over the off-season.
Well, he did say that the game was far from what he was used to, and maybe he's got a bit to learn and that sort of stuff. So obviously we'll see how he gets on in the qualifiers, how he gets used to. I mean, because if we've had the new breed slow ruck that we've been having of most of 2016, then imagine how much slower it's going to be in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Okay, stats-wise, average gain and tackle success in this game were the same for both sides. with 150 more metres, an extra break at 8-7, more carries off the back of 15 more successful offloads, 25-10, and 2 fewer penalties conceded, you'd expect the home side Giants to have won this game. But with 2 more errors, they were unable to take their chances, unlike the Saints, who scored twice as many tries as their hosts.
There you go. Individually, then, who stood out for us?
Adam Swift, a try of 188 metres. A lot of those came on running that try in. Jack Owens, a try in 115 metres. Alex Walmsley, his try was some terrible defending. There was 2 Saints players running into the same hole that the defending was that bad.
Right.
Him and Joe Greenwood both could have scored, but try in 119 metres. Luke Walsh back with 3 try assists. For Huddersfield, Tom Simons with his try in 111 metres. Danny Brough with a try, 6 tackle busts. 130 metres, 2 clean breaks, 4 successful offloads, so a lot of positives from Danny. That's without crediting him for the try assist on Swift. Jermaine McGilvery, a try assist, 222 metres, 3 clean breaks, 3 successful offloads. He did his best. And Sam Rapira, who's consistently performing for Huddersfield in a poor team. 10 marker tackles, 123 metres.
Okay, Dan LBW said, looks like Saints are a little less shit than they have been all season, thanks to the Dragons being more shit than they were earlier in the season. Okay. Aidan Stalker said, was keeping it with us on the radio, and clearly Owens is finally shedding the shackles and unleashing his immense ability. Old Trafford beckons.
I guess what Diane sort of...
firmly in cheek, I would suggest, maybe.
What Diane's sort of suggesting there is the Dragons losing a few games has brought them back to the Saints, and that's actually making the Saints look better than they are, because the Dragons are performing worse than they should be doing.
Yeah.
Arguably. But, the Dragons have had a lot of key performers out. The attacking and defensive leaders have been out of the side, haven't they?
I think once they get them back, you might see Catalan straighten up a little bit.
Then again, St Helens have had some sort of issues in that, although they've not missed Roby, who is the everything.
Yeah, true. Final game of the weekend then saw Castleford taking on Warrington down at the Menderhose Jungle. Bit of a milestone this one. It was Luke Dawn's 250th Super League game, so you might have thought that the Rugby League gods would serve up a victory for Castleford, and they went into the sheds at half-time leading 18 points to 16, but despite a 4-try haul from Denny Solomona, Wire proved more clinical in attack. Perhaps this one goes to demonstrate the strength in depth that these two squads have, and it finished 42 points to 26 in favour of the Wire, with Gidley kicking goals, with Sandow kicking goals, with points coming from, tries coming from Ratchford and Rhys Evans all over the park.
Luke Gale not kicking goals.
Luke Gale, what the fuck? That's got to be Luke Gale's worst kicking performance as a professional rugby league player, I would suggest.
Maybe you would guess so. He did miss a few were touchline ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, Denny Solomona with his 4 tries was a big performer for Castleford, but because only was one of them converted, maybe even none of them, I'm not sure. But Castleford had a couple of tries ruled out. The obstruction try that Frankie Mariano scored, I think.
Yeah.
I just can't fathom how the referees decided Danny Tickle obstructed any of the Warrington players, and that was at a time in the game when it hadn't quite got away from them.
Yeah.
But Castleford got what they deserved from the highlights I've seen and from what I was following of the game yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
In that they just couldn't defend.
No, that's it. That's exactly it.
Warrington maybe got a lucky try with a Brad Dwyer one, and there was a couple of ruled out ones, like I say, for Cass, where on a different day they might have executed a little bit better on those. And that's how it fell, but it came the way it deserved, because Cass just couldn't defend and couldn't stop Warrington steamrolling them from everything I've read, seen, listened to. Yeah,
that was the impression I got off Twitter. What were the stats of the game like then, Mark? What did they tell us?
It was the highest combined average gain in a game this year, but that was based mostly on the Wolves' ridiculous 10.3 metres per tackle per carry as a team. Now, I haven't gone back through my records to check, but I would guess that that's the best or second best since Super League Pod began.
Does this get an asterisk because everybody gets a slight advantage when they play at Cass because of the length of the field and the difference between the 30 and the 40 metre mark?
No, it's the actual metres.
Is it based on what the player does? Carry in the back rather than what you see on the
I don't know if it's based on the thing they carry in the back or if that's just performance stats that the teams get to see.
Right.
It's based on the people at Opta who watch the game saying he picked up the ball there, he got tackled there, or he offloaded the ball there,
so
or he scored
they
right
have
there.
factored into it that there's actually really only 5 metres between 30 and 40.
Yeah, they're just counting how many metres the guys run, not how many. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, then that is ridiculous in that case.
Yeah, 10 metres per carry is amazing. 2 more breaks, 256 more metres. That was despite 30 fewer carries and 5 more errors by the wire. 6 missed kicks in the game is a joint worst for this season. 5 of them came from Cass, but a few of them after the horse had already bolted, so counted